Square Enix recently suggested that porting the massive open-world environments of Final Fantasy XV to the rumored Nintendo Switch 2 is not entirely impossible. We've reached a point where portable chips can theoretically handle the most demanding 8th-generation titles. It creates a sense of a golden age, one where any game, no matter how complex, is available anywhere at any time. But look at the headlines from just this past week. Hideo Kojima warning of a frightening future as physical disks die out, Alibaba banning AI tools over data tracking, and a security flaw in a major browser allowing for silent, zero-click malware installs. These aren't isolated technical glitches. They represent a growing friction between the hardware we buy and the rights we're allowed to keep while using it. Every leap in convenience seems to come with a corresponding loss in control. To get the mobility and speed we want, we are increasingly forced to trade away our ownership, our privacy, and our access. Following Sony's plan to end physical disc production by 2028, Hideo Kojima, the creator of Metal Gear and Death Stranding, voiced a concern that quickly went viral. To him, the end of the disc feels strange and sad. His point is practical. A physical disc is an object you own and can replay decades later. A digital game is a license, a permission slip that can be revoked or disappear if a service changes its terms. We can already see the results of this shift. The Video Game History Foundation finds that 87% of classic American games are already legally inaccessible. When servers shut down or companies go bankrupt, digital-only titles simply vanish. Without a physical copy to maintain, there is no legal way for museums or collectors to preserve the experience for the next generation. Moving entirely to the cloud effectively turns our gaming history into a temporary service, where access lasts only as long as the provider remains profitable. This lack of control extends to our software tools. Security researchers discovered a protocol flaw in the Opera GX browser that allowed malicious sites to install add-ons without a single click from the user. Once installed, these extensions could silently scrape session cookies and saved passwords, bypassing the browser's standard security prompts entirely. On a corporate scale, these vulnerabilities lead to active bans. Alibaba recently restricted its employees from using the Claude Code AI tool after finding code designed to identify and track users specifically within China. This flowchart shows how the tool fingerprints a user, pinging the local system for IP addresses and time zones before routing that data back to US servers. While the developer cites compliance with export laws, the result is a tool that monitors the user as a condition of its use. We are seeing the rise of a fragmented ecosystem, where the price of using cutting-edge AI is being caught in a crossfire of data collection and international export restrictions. Corporate priorities often clash with cultural reality. Google released an ad imagining the founding fathers using AI to draft the Declaration of Independence. The backlash was immediate. Critics noted it reduced intense personal debate into a series of automated editing suggestions. This disconnect from the user base is becoming a standard business practice. Sony recently blocked the PC version of Marvel Tokon in 132 countries, despite the game being technically functional in those regions. As this map shows, 132 nations across Africa, Asia, and Latin America rapidly turn red. These gamers are barred from buying the game on Steam solely because they live in countries where the PlayStation Network doesn't officially operate. Sony is enforcing this lockout to mandate account linking. It's an attempt at ecosystem lock-in, prioritizing the collection of PC gamer data over the actual sale of the software. Geographic borders and artificial restrictions are being engineered to ensure that data harvesting remains the primary goal of the platform. We are living through a paradox. Hardware engineers are building devices that can play anything, anywhere, while executives are building walls that dictate exactly who is allowed to play. The result is a landscape of strictly licensed, heavily monitored gardens, where buying a product is no longer a guarantee of keeping it. However, consumers are finding ways to push back. Widespread review bombing and social media protests have already forced major companies like Sony to backtrack on unfair account requirements in the past. When developers like Kojima defend physical media, they remind the industry that there is still a significant market for true ownership and historical preservation. Technological progress is certain, but the rules of that progress are still being written. If we don't insist on the right to own what we pay for, we may find ourselves in a future where we have all the hardware in the world, but no agency over what we do with it.